Thank you, Senator Daines. We'll now hear from Senator Reid for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. Mr. Ueda and Mr. Lizarraga, I think I'm close on both scores. The SEC has recently proposed a rule for public companies that would require cybersecurity expertise on the board or some mechanism to ensure that cybersecurity is taken into consideration. And I just starting with Mr. Lizarraga, do you believe that that's critical and should be implemented quickly?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. I think it is essential to bolster cybersecurity at the SEC and at its regulated entities as a matter of principle. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Ueda?
Yes, it's correct.
Sorry.
Senator Reid. So without prejudging the current proposal, which is out for public comment, just generally, I think cybersecurity is a very critical threat, particularly facing the financial services industry. There can be very significant fallout and consequences from a breach, and the SEC has an obligation, particularly for the broker-dealers, transfer agents, clearing firms, investment companies that it oversees, to ensure that there's appropriate efforts to protect against cybersecurity threats. And I would also add, it's very important for the SEC itself as an agency to bolster its cybersecurity defenses. The SEC, during my time there, has been subject to various intrusion effects, and the information clearing process, for instance, that the Edgar system provides is significant, and if there was an outage, that could have market consequences.
Well, thank you very much, both of you. Mr. Barr, cryptocurrencies have been in the news recently. Do you have concerns that they are inherently vulnerable to crises like we're seeing? There's been a huge meltdown. Could you give us an idea of your perspective on cryptocurrencies as you enter the...
Thank you, Senator Reid. I think advances in technology, including cryptocurrency, have some potential for upside in terms of economic benefit, and then also some significant risks. And I think of those risks in functional terms depending on the particular kind of use that the cryptocurrency is being undertaken for. So, for example, with respect to crypto assets generally that are invested in as an asset class, the primary concern is investor protection, and that really is the responsibility of other agencies. But in issues such as stablecoins, there could be financial stability risks. And I think it's quite important that Congress and regulatory agencies wrap their arms around those financial stability risks and regulate so that we don't have situations where people are holding an asset that they believe is a cash instrument, but it actually is not. That can have both significant investor protection problems, but also financial stability risk, run risk.
Mm-hmm. The Federal Reserve, I understand, has been exploring whether to introduce a central bank digital currency to facilitate the ability of people to make digital payments, which are quite popular. Have you given any thought to that issue?
Thank you, Senator. I think the development of a central bank digital currency requires a lot more thought and study. I think that the Federal Reserve's discussion paper on this is a good starting point. As Chair Powell previously indicated, if this is an area that the Federal Reserve decides makes sense to move forward on, it really should be with the buy-in of the Congress and the executive branch, not something undertaken lightly. And I think that's the right view. If confirmed, that's the view I would take as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barr. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Reid. Senator Tillis is recognized.